Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning. Today is February 25th, 2026. We get together most weekday mornings at this time, 8 o'clock Central, and we will not have a Zoom tomorrow. So we're going to be going out and picking up our new company vehicle, which we'll talk about in a moment, how that's relevant that as we set up these SPEs, we can provide company vehicles for the participants in the SPE program. But we'll get to that in a moment. So in the background here, we have spefunding.com. This is our resource site. When we applied for and received the grant, one of the requirements was that we had full transparency. So when you go to spefunding.com, it breaks it down into a three-step process: introductory training, advanced training, and then, frankly, participation if desired. We really want participants before they enroll to do steps one and two and view these on demand training modules. They don't have to register, they, of course, don't have to pay for the training, but it's designed to build financial literacy of important concepts, but also, again, full transparency, full understanding of how the model works. It's a legal model. The SPE is a legal model. It's an ethical model, but it's an advanced model. It's an advanced structure of raising capital. And so because of that, a lot of people aren't familiar with some of the concepts and processes. So going through the trainings is crucial. And then if they want to participate after they have the background and familiarity, they come over here to step number three, click on this, and it pops up a box. And then with that, they will have an introductory flyer that reiterates the value proposition, the initial off to acknowledge it. We're going to be talking about these topics actually today. And then there's a one-page app. Top half is business information, all optional. So if they don't have any or all of this, not a problem. These fields can be left blank. At the bottom is key person, business owner information. Those are required. It comes in, and then we're able to get them their first tranche offers normally within one day. And we talked about that yesterday. We talked about Harley and how he received over 100 cash offers nearly immediately that he could choose from. And cumulatively, those added up to about a half million. So that's the SPE funding website and how to navigate. If you choose to become an affiliate, then you can refer in and get paid, but that's not really our focus today. That's easy to do and there's no cost. And the affiliate information's bottom right-hand corner. All right, so let's get to our agenda today. We're going to talk about and clarify and answer questions as well that you may have, the economic benefits, because there are several different types of economic benefits that a participant receives by participating in the SPE program. And all too common, I hear people converge those, they combine those, they confuse them. And so we don't want confusion, we want clarity. So here we are. So, the first economic benefit of someone going through the SPE program would be loan proceeds. And that's kind of the solution at the highest level that we're providing with the SPE. If someone wants money to start or grow a business, what do we know? They need to have a fundable business. The fundable business needs to have a qualified entity as well as the three C's: credit, collateral, capacities. We've talked about in other trainings, and that's involved here. But the bottom line is we can provide all that in an SPE, whereby we're able to guarantee that they will qualify for a minimum of 250,000. So let's go ahead and start expanding on this and putting some notes in. So when we talk about loan proceeds, there is a $250,000 guaranteed, we'll call it capital raise. A $250,000 loan is promised, it's committed for anyone that goes through the process. If that's all there were, we could have a real short conversation here. But in fact, there's other economic benefits as well that we're going to be going through. But that is one that is common, that is the reason most people will enroll. This is normally, we'll work with the client on what they want, but normally this is going to be a working capital term loan, normally 120 months to 10-year repayment term, low interest, no surprises. So that's the foundation of the normal loan proceeds of the first economic benefit. But there's more. So, in addition to that, if they wish, we can add trade lines. So, let's add that as a subpoint. So, when we talk about trade lines, what does that mean? That means that we're applying, getting accepted, getting approved, and actually have real primary trade lines. So, that could be company credit cards, which makes sense, company automobiles, and we've talked about that before. And actually, if you go right over here, is where we did some training on how we can get participants a company car if they wish. Now, do they have to get a company car? No. Does that remove the other promises? No. But a company car kind of makes sense, right? Because it's a big trade line. The one that we're picking up tomorrow is almost a $400,000 trade line. Well, when you have a, and you don't have to get that type of vehicle or that price, but when you get the larger the trade line, the better, the stronger the business is. So we could certainly go get a $30,000 business auto or something much more than that. But company autos are tax deductible. Most of us need transportation anyway. And yes, we can have an SPE that we just transferred to a client and be able to very quickly go get a company automobile. There's not a length of time waiting. We would have picked up our company auto several weeks ago, but they broke the windshield when they were tinting the windows when it came in. And so they had to order a new windshield, and that caused a delay. But the bottom line is within the first month, we can be getting them their company credit cards and company autos if they desire. Now, also, we can get, if they wish, company real estate. So if they're wanting to own real estate in the SPE, in the entity's name, we can do that as well. So the first economic benefit, probably no surprises, it's probably what you would have expected, would be the loan, trade lines, and I've given you some examples of trade lines. So before I move on to number two, which is equally important, who has questions on the first economic benefit? And so we got several Kenneths on, but Kenneth is right. So there is a guarantee that we make that by following the process using the SPE, we can get them a minimum of 250,000. But above and beyond that, if they want, we can also get them company credit cards if they wish. They don't have to. Above and beyond that 250, we can get them one or more company autos if they wish. Above that 250, we can get them real estate in the company name and the SPE name if they want. So, questions, comments, concerns on that? I think most of us were probably on track there with common understanding. But there's more to the economic benefits. That's why we're having the discussion. We're not done. There's more to go. Okay, so I think we're okay there. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, type it in. Now, an SPE is set up, as you will probably see through this training, the SPE is set up as a management consulting firm. Now, we have to overcome pessimism because some people say, well, I don't want to be a management consultant. I want to do something else, whatever that else is. Well, that's fine. You can do whatever else you want, but the SPE's purpose, special purpose entity, is to get the capital raise. And so then the SPE can do the capital raise, which we discussed here. Then it can transfer that money to your other entity or other projects. So it separates it. So just like it says up here, a special purpose entity is a legal entity created for a specific purpose often to isolate financial risk and get large amounts of funding. So the point is, when we set up an SPE, it is set up under a specific industry code, management consulting, because that works really well and we can consistently get 250,000. Now, if a client needs more than 250,000, we can either repeat the process or we can do a custom build. And a custom build means, okay, it's not going to be management consulting, it's going to be some other industry code, and it's a custom build. So the SPE platform, as it's developed, goes in $250,000 increments. It's fine if someone needs more than that, then we can repeat the process multiple times, either at the same time, meaning concurrently, or one after another, called sequentially, whichever the client wants. So, no, if we needed 500,000, will it take longer? No, we're just going to do, which doesn't have to, we would do two SPEs at the same time. But above and beyond that, we want to get back over to the income. So we have built a structure, a loan package. Think of it as an explanation. Why are we going to the lender to borrow 250,000? We have to give them a reason, right? We can't just say, "Hey, give me 250,000." So there's the loan package. And with that, we are again positioning it as a management consulting firm. It is up to the client if they actually want to ever operate that firm. They don't have to. If they want to, they can. If they don't want to, they don't have to. If they want to own it, but not actually work at it, they can have staff or delegate, just like lots of people own businesses that they don't actually work in. So you can own the business and work in it. You can own the management consulting firm, keep the profits, but have other people operate it, or we could just not operate it at all. Kind of a wasted opportunity, but the loan proceeds are not dependent upon operating the SPE. It's the story that we're telling, honestly, to get the loan, but there's no one that's going to require the client to actually operate the firm after the loan is received. Hopefully that makes sense. So now we're going to break in. So the concept of income, let's go ahead and add a little bit more note. So we're talking about actually making money through the management consulting firm. So it's not BS. I mean, we're literally setting up, if the client wants to operate, a management consulting firm. And our model is such, which we'll see over here. So if we go back to step 3, we click on that, it popped up this. Go back up to the explanation. This gives you a summary. And so it states, we set up each SPE, special purpose entity, as a branch office through a license-based relationship. And so it's set up under management consulting. And then there's revenue generated, which you and I would commonly refer to as being a loan broker. So that is the concept, is that we're setting up management consulting firms that it projects to earn money. We're able to show the lender the feasibility data, why there's a need in that area, projections, provide the 3 C's, collateral capacity, and credit worthiness. But what I'm trying to clarify is that the benefit doesn't stop with just getting the loan proceeds and trade lines. We can actually run the firm if the client wants to. They're not obligated to. It's up to them. So even if we were going to operate it, then we need to understand that there's two types of ongoing income. Now, I think this is what Mark's bringing up right now. I mean, if you actually operated the SPE, it would make enough money to pay off the debt. But if we don't operate it, then you would need to find other income streams to pay back the debt, right? Because when you go take a loan out, if you go take a $250,000 loan, the lender's expecting you to pay it back, right? That's what how a loan's defined. So the question really becomes for the SPE participant, do they want to pay back that loan through the operational income of the SPE? Fine if they do, fine if they don't. If they do, it makes a lot of sense because then it pays the debt on its own. But if not, then they'll need to pull from other revenue streams to pay it back. But let's get into passive versus active. So I think a lot of times small business owners, especially early stage entrepreneurs, only think of active. So active means you work at your business and you make money. I'll give you an example. There's a Vietnamese family here in our town. And so between my home and my office, when I drive in, I normally come in around 5 a.m. local time, central time in the morning. And so I think every instance, maybe there's been an exception, but pretty much every instance, when I'm driving by that donut shop at 5 a.m., that Vietnamese man and woman are already there making donuts, kolaches, whatever all they make there. So they own the business, but they're actively working it, right? 7 days a week, I believe 365 days a year, they're in there making the donuts and selling the donuts. And that's what they choose to do. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's an example of active. Now, passive means that you own the business, but don't work at the business. So I have a neighbor and you've heard me probably mention this before, he owns several fast food franchises. They're all, to the best of my knowledge, they're all Sonic, Sonic, which are big in this area, maybe not where you live, but they're, hamburger, fast food. Usually there's no dine in. They might have a few patio tables, but primarily it's drive up or drive through. So the point is, he owns several of those restaurants. But no, he doesn't get up every day and go make hamburgers and French fries and milkshakes. He has employees that does that. So we would call that passive income. It's still real. He owns the business. He makes the profits, but he doesn't do the work. He has employees that do the work. So why do I bring this up? Again, I need to make sure that we all understand that there's multiple economic benefits of doing an SPE, the SPE model. Yes, yes, it'll get us guaranteed funding. And I know that's what most people are chasing after. So, yes. But in addition to that, it can actually produce income. And income's a good thing, right? And so this doesn't mean that it's changing who you are or what you want to do primarily, but most experts would say diversification of income is a smart thing, right? So you could also own this management consulting firm. You could make a decision, do you want to actually work at it or just own it and have others do the work, but it can generate income. Questions, comments, concerns on the concept of earning income through the SPE. I'm going to go a little bit deeper, and there was a reference over here on the bottom of one of how to earn income. Okay, now we're going to get a little bit deeper in this, so let's move this down. So within income, one of the promises that we make contractually, so it's not just a verbal promise that you hope we'll do it, it's in the contract and it's also on the flyer here where it says 250,000 in first month income. See that? 250,000. So this is real. This isn't make believe. We're going to actually get that each SPE 250,000 in the first month. Now, if you don't understand how that works, you could certainly look at that and say, well, that's bullshit, or that's a scam, or that can't be true. But it's far from that. You just got to understand how. So what happens is we go out and generate the clients. We don't provide you leads or prospects. We generate clients. And we went through this yesterday in yesterday's training and showed you how that worked. We did the Harley example. But the bottom line is we're going to bring you 25, it says it right here, 25 contracted clients. Each of them owes the SPE 10, your SPE 10,000. So 25 times 10,000 is 250,000. So let's go back to our notes here. So the I guess the first income stream for each SPE is the 250,000. That 250,000, the 25 clients that owe the SPE 10,000 apiece, is not predicated on the SPE owner going and doing the work or hiring people to do the work. It's part of what we deliver. And the reason we deliver that is because it's important to show the lender that the business is open, it has clients, and it has money coming in. It's one of the three C's: capacity, otherwise known as cash flow. So we're going to provide this 100% of the time. 100% of the time. No matter if you decide active, passive, no matter if you say, I don't really want to operate the business at all, I'm just wanting to use it to get the loan, we're still going to provide this. This is going to happen 100% of the time because it's instrumental to the model. So that's a given. Now, above and beyond that, then, we'll call this 2A. So that comes with it. It's included. It's a crucial element because what we don't want to do is go apply for that $250,000 loan and they ask for our financials, they ask for our bank statement, and it looks blank. That'd be horrible. We're avoiding that. Now, in addition to that, so now we're on to 2B, the SP owner can, which doesn't mean they have to, can generate their own clients too. So not in lieu of. Sometimes people are oversimplistic. They think, well, why would I want to do this if I could otherwise have the 25 clients? It's both. It's both. Yes, we're going to provide the 25 clients. It's in the contract. It's on the flyer. No one's taking that away. But in addition to that, if you chose that you wanted to actually operate the firm, you can actually generate clients too. Because believe it or not, there's a lot of people out there that need money to start or grow a business. They don't know what you know. They don't know what I know. They don't have the knowledge. They don't have the resources. They don't qualify. And that's what we can provide to them. So the point is, in addition to generating 250,000 of income, I know it's the same number as the guaranteed loan, but I wish it weren't for a second because it's a different economic bucket. So in addition to the 250,000 that we're going to bring into each SPE through the 25 clients worth 10,000 apiece, the owner can, if they wish, operate as well. And that's one of the things that we're going to offer to do very quickly. And we talked to or text a number of you yesterday. So what we're going to do is very quickly get your SPE open for business. So specifically what that means is that each SPE will have their own contracting packet. It's going to look almost exactly like this, but it's going to be white labeled. So it wouldn't have our information down here. It would have your information down here. It would have no reference to us. We're doing the back office work, but you're the customer interface. So here you'll see it, makes reference to our business name. So your packet wouldn't make any reference to our name. It's a white label packet. So what we're wanting to do is get you that white label client packet right away, which will allow you to turn that income stream on if you wish. Now, again, don't be a simpleton on me because some people will say, oh, well, if I have to go operate it, then I don't want to do this. We've already said multiple times it's optional. The funding comes, the first 250 comes, it's optional, and I guess we need to put this so there's no question. If you want to run the business, you can. You can operate it actively, you go to work and you're doing it, or passively, where you delegate or have staff or independent contractors do it. But I do want to clarify that it can make money, and that's a good thing because the more money that it makes, the more borrowing capacity, right? So we have it set up where we can guarantee 250,000 capital raise off of this model. But you know what? We can make that larger if we have more capacity, because we're only promising you 250,000 first month income. We're not promising that in second month and third month and fourth month. We're going to provide that up front so the business looks really strong right away. During month one, you can also operate it if you want or not. And then after month one, we will have delivered this. If you don't want to operate it, then there wouldn't be any more money coming in, right? Because we will have done our part. And if you're saying you don't want to operate it. Any questions on the income before we get down to our third and final economic benefit? Jason asked, are we operating the SPE? So, no, I wouldn't say that we're operating the SPE. It's your business, and you can operate it if you want. You can operate it actively, where you're running it, or passively, where you delegate, have employees or independent contractors do it. So, no, we're not going to come run your business. We're busy running our business. However, we are the back office. So, in terms of providing the back office services, we provide all of that for your SPE. So you don't have to learn to do everything that we do. But essentially, you're replicating our model. We've proven how to attract clients and help clients get funding with a guaranteed minimum of 250,000. Now what we're doing with the SPE model is expanding that into local communities. And then if you wish, you can own that local office in your local community with no out-of-pocket cost. The primary reason that this model is attractive to people is because we can use it to get guaranteed loans because of the structure. In addition to that, what I'm trying to clarify is you could also operate it if you want. Darius asked, who owes? Well, let's go back. So every business has customers or should have customers, right? So every business sells a good or a service to a customer that pays. And so if it's the bakery up the street, they're selling donuts. If it's management consulting, we're doing the loan broker model. So what we're doing is transferring, as it states here, Darius, 25 contracted clients, and they each have already contracted and they owe the SPE the 10,000. So Darius asked, who owes the SPE? Well, it's your clients. It's just we're providing your first 25 clients to get you up and running quickly. And then in addition to that, if you want to run the business, you can, or if you don't want to, you don't have to, but it kind of makes sense to do it even if you wanted to do it passively. Let's say that I used to be a college professor, so I didn't have much time to run businesses on the side. You can own a business and have other people do the work, right? Just like my neighbor with the sauna. All right, so wrapping it up here because we're running along. For exit income, this is the third type of economic benefit. So we've covered that we use it to get loans and we guarantee that. That's the primary reason people are attracted to the SPE. Above and beyond that, we can actually generate income that can be very, very profitable and pay the loan back. So you don't have to pay the loan. The business is generating its own income, and you can have it actively or passively. And we've covered that we're going to provide the first 25 clients, the first 250,000. If you want to get engaged and do more than that month one or subsequent months, you can. What we're on now is exit income. So let's say that you got the SPE, we get the capital raise, so you've got the 250,000 that's in your account. You've done with whatever you want. If you wanted company credit cards, autos, or real estate, all that's taken care of. Great, done. You can have decided to make income or not. Of course, we're going to get the first 250. You can decide to get involved thereafter, passively or actively. But on exit income, this business has value. It has value. And so you could sell the business if you want. So it's called an exit strategy. So if desired, after the capital raise, the SPE owner can sell the business. Businesses are bought and sold all the time. There's loan brokers that can facilitate it. There are websites. I think it's bizbuysell.com, if I recall. But I want to clarify that this is a real business that has real value that you could turn around and sell and generate another economic benefit. All right, so what questions do you have? I know we've covered a lot and I've talked a lot and didn't listen as much as I should have, but I think I've covered most of the questions or comments that you've put through. But in summary, there are three primary economic benefits of the SPE model, and you need to understand the three of them. There's getting loan proceeds along with the trade lines. That's the most obvious. We can actually generate income because it's a real business. You don't have to. You can generate it actively or passively or not at all. The first month income is guaranteed because we're going to provide the first 25 clients, and then you can get involved thereafter if you would like to. As far as once the capital raise is complete, you could continue to operate it either actively or passively, and that makes a lot of sense because now you're getting money in every day, every week, every month. But if you want to remove yourself from it, you could certainly sell it if you want. KE asked, would we want to buy it back? Yeah, maybe so. I hadn't really considered that, but there's a whole market. But I guess the answer would be yeah. I mean, if we agreed on price, sure, we would buy it back. And then Roderick asked about the interest rate. Well, when we go for financing, the lender determines the interest rate, not you, not us. Now, you as the borrower get to determine if it's acceptable. But normally, when we talk about it, it's normally a 10-year repayment term. We've discussed 120 months, and the interest rate's normally just a little bit above prime rate. So, these are the attractive types of business financing that most people desire. All right, with that being said, we will not have a Zoom tomorrow because we've got to run out of state actually to go pick up the new Porsche 911 GTS that is in the company name that we bought through our SPE. It'll be titled in the SPE. It's financed under the SPE, and we can do the same thing if you're looking for a company automobile, company credit cards, company real estate, in addition to the 250,000. And we'll be back on Friday morning, normal time, normal place. Thanks, everyone. If you have any questions, you can certainly give us a call, 903-352-3390. But what's crucial is don't shortcut the system. Come over here and complete by watching these trainings in steps 1 and 2. Because until you've done that, you really shouldn't be asking us any questions, quite honestly. You need to commit the time and energy to understand the model, and then we're here to answer other questions. But the truth is, I don't think you'll have many questions after this. If any, you'll be ready to come right over here, click this, it'll pop up, and then you'll be open for business. All right, thanks everyone. Talk to you soon. We'll see you back Friday morning. Bye bye.